Hey, what's up? I am Sam, and welcome to my Origami Dojo. Today, we are going to be making an Origami $1 Ninja Dart Flicker. To make it fly, just flick it. Ready? Of course you are. You're a ninja. Alright, so we're going to begin with a US $1 bill, ideally one that's fairly crisp, although one that's kind of soggy will work just as well. Okay, so we're going to start by rotating and folding it in half on the face side. And we'll crease sharply. Then we'll unfold, rotate, and then fold in half on the side again. And once we have that, we want to take this edge here and fold it up to lie along that crease we just made. Just like a paper airplane. And once we have that, we'll turn over right to left. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll take this edge and fold it up to the crease we just made. And it should also line up with this fold that we've already made. And crease. Then we want to take this edge here and fold it up to lie along this middle crease. And we're only going to do that on this side. And to do it on this side, we're going to first turn over right to left. So then we'll take this edge, fold it up to the center, and we should end up with this. Now, since this is going to be the blade of our dart, we want to make sure that that comes to as sharp a point as possible. And now what we want to do is unfold this flap here, and we want to make a crease that runs along this edge here and all the way to the bottom edge. And when you do it, this edge should line up with itself down here. So we're just going to take it, fold it over that edge, make sure it lines up with itself here, and then crease. Then we'll unfold, refold, and then we're going to turn over, and we want to mount and fold this flap behind on that crease we've already made. So we'll just fold that behind, and there we go. Now we want to do the same thing with this flap here, so we'll just unfold it, take this edge, take this flap, fold it along this edge, make sure the edge lines up with the edge beneath, and then crease. Then we'll unfold, refold this flap, and then turn over, we'll lift this flap here out of the way, and then mount and fold behind on that existing crease. And we should end up with something like this. Now if you did this correctly, these edges should be flat. They should line up exactly. Okay, now what we want to do is take this flap and just fold it up so that the crease extends from this corner here all the way over to this edge here, and this edge again lines up with itself. So just fold it up like that and crease. Then we'll take this flap here and just fold it behind. Then we're going to lift it up and fold it into that pocket right there. And once we have that, let's turn over and do the same thing on this side. So we'll fold that flap up so that the crease extends from this point here out to the edge. And there should be this little flap sticking up, and we're going to fold it behind and tuck it inside there. Now what we want to do is switch these two flaps. So to do that, we'll take this one and put it on the bottom, and this one and bring it to the top. So we'll just lift it up here and just sort of bring it back, and when we do that, we also want to take this one and bring it to the front, like that. So basically all we did was just swap the position of the two flaps, and I'll show it to you again in case you're finding it a little difficult. So all we did was just take this flap and just swing it behind while bringing this one forward, and then just refolding it. And there we go. Now what we want to do is make a rabbit ear on this flap. So to do that, we're just going to take this edge and fold it up to this existing edge here, and you want to be careful so that it goes neatly through all layers, well, all layers on top here. And it should be something like that. Then we'll unfold and do the same thing on the top here, just folding that point down. Then we're going to refold both creases, and when we do that, we're just going to pinch the top and the bottom edge together, like this. And then pinch them down and fold that up. There we go. Once we have that, we're just going to repeat that on the back here. So we'll take this edge, or this flap, fold it up to lie along that existing edge. Unfold, do the same thing here. Then we'll unfold that, And then refold both creases at the same time while making a pinch so that the top and the bottom edges meet. And then we'll fold that up to the top there. And we're almost done. At this point, what you should do is make sure that all the creases are. You want to just go around and flatten and sharpen all the creases. So just flatten that out, slide this flap back into place here, turn over and do the same thing. There we go, that looks pretty good. So we'll turn back over, not that it matters since both sides should be exactly the same. Okay, now what we want to do is take this flap and fold it over so that this bottom point here, so that this edge here touches this top point, like so, and it should be about 45 degrees. Then you want to make sure there's a tiny gap between this edge and this edge, like so. And once we have that, what we're going to do is just open up this flap here, and just tuck that into the middle, like this. And then just flatten that crease to make sure it stays in place very well. There we go. And once we have that, we're going to turn it over and do the same thing on this side. We're just going to fold this down at about 45 degrees. It's going to be considerably harder than the other one since there's a lot more paper involved. And so we'll just fold it over. And again, flatten as much as you can. And then we want to fold this flap forward so that it matches this edge behind it, like so. So we'll just fold it over and then again flatten it. You might want to use a pliers or something if your hands just aren't strong enough. Okay, then we're going to unfold it, and last step, just tuck it into one of these pockets underneath. So we'll just tuck it in there, and you might want to use a pencil or something, or even a tweezers or something to help you just jam it in there. And then we're basically done, and all that you need to do is flatten out your model one more time. So we'll just flatten as much as we can here. And this will make it as aerodynamic as possible. We'll just flatten the tip, and when you're done with all that flattening, then you can fly it just like an ordinary flicker. So to do that, you just need to hold it gently by the tip here, and then just flick this heavy point right here. Then it will fly just like a flicker, like so. And of course, if you have a whole bunch of them, then what you can do is throw them like ninja darts. Just keep them between your fingers here. And then just toss forward. And I'm not going to show that because I'm still not very good at that. But you get the idea. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, and be sure to subscribe and maybe check out a few tutorials in the meantime.